Recording in progress.
There you go. I bet you missed that, didn't you?
I did.
I was very
Yeah.
confused last week. Or not last week, 2 weeks ago.
Well, no more confusion today. Is everybody ready already?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Let's hit it. Hello, and welcome back to our humble little podcast. This is Atlantis After Dark, the greatest place in all of cyberspace. It's a well-known fact that girls mature faster than boys. Girls get boobs around age 13 while men don't get them until they're 40. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go already. You guys are ready too, so let's not waste a whole lot more time. Let's get right into it and meet today's all-stars. Warming up in the bullpen. He went to the doctor for a prostate exam. He asked the doc, "Where should I put my pants?" Over there by mine was not the answer he was expecting. It's BIFF by Adam West. What's the word, dude?
What's going on, man?
You got to do it.
I had my last one. I did that. I did that poop in a box one.
Oh yeah.
And then they come back and say, "Well, it was inconclusive, so you got to go in anyway." It's like, okay, what'd you make me do this for?
Yeah, I think that's just a scam to get people to buy turd in a box, but that's just me. How many people do we think we can get to shit in a box? Oh, I'll show you. We'll even make them pay to do it.
Put on a couple TV commercials.
That's right.
You know?
Some billionaire won a bet that day. Jesus. Anyways, we're glad to have you back on the show once again. All right. Next up, he's the Sorcerer Supreme of cyberspace. Last time, he wanted a threesome. Well, apparently he learned his lesson. His wife told him, if a threesome is with 3 people and a twosome is with 2, do you now understand why people call you handsome? It's Retpmus. What's happening, Big Kahuna?
Oh, not much.
You get it?
Happy to be here. I got
Handsome,
it.
hand. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right.
That wasn't bad.
I just wanted to make sure that you got that because, you know.
I got it.
Yeah. Some people will be like, I don't understand the joke. That means I should write them better.
Or they should be brighter.
Well, yeah. I don't know about that, but anyways, damn glad to have you back on the show today, buddy.
Always glad to be here.
Fantastic. Last but not least, he's the gangster of ganja. The other day, he told me, did you know chickens die after they have sex? I stared at him and I couldn't believe it. And he paused for a bit and said, well, every chicken I ever fucked did. It's Sekju. Welcome, sir.
And now you know the tenderness of my chicken nuggets.
That's secret sauce, right?
Well, yeah, and you know they talk about brining, so you know it's important to coat
Right.
the interior as well as the
Yeah,
exterior.
you got to marinate that son of a bitch, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how you get it nice and tender. Ask Chick-fil-A, how do you think they're making their chicken so good?
So they just hire some redneck back there to fuck chickens all day?
I'm not saying I said it, but my friend does work in logistics for the company that provides them with a lot of their supplies. So
No. Are you being serious?
what about the redneck fucking chickens?
Yeah.
In the back? About my friend working in the logistics.
No,
company.
about the rednecks fucking chickens in the back of Chick-fil-A.
No, that's completely made up.
No.
Oh, okay.
We do not need any defamation.
Yeah, we don't need Chick-fil-A coming down on us, man.
Yeah, by the way,
I love Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is a very well-run company.
It is.
I like
They
Chick-fil-A.
they in the HR world, they are known as one of the models of treating their employees like their greatest asset versus how many companies treat their employees like their largest expense. You know, so they are very good to their employees. So we have nothing bad to say, and they do not fuck their chickens.
Right.
And which is why
Not that we know of.
No, as far as we know.
As far as we know,
there's
nobody
no happening there.
By the way, you know what they did, which I found really interesting, when the Atlanta Falcons built their arena they put a Chick-fil-A in the arena, but Chick-fil-A is very well known for being closed on Sunday.
Yes.
So they like in that football stadium, they like almost never have that damn store open because they were even for the NFL games, they're like, no, we're not opening, we're not doing it. So but you put a store in the damn football stadium that 90% of the dates are on Sundays.
Yeah. Stroke of genius.
Brain trust down there.
Don't let
Didn't
it
they
be
just
said.
have that issue though with Chick-fil-A's up in New York too? Wasn't that a big deal in the news that like New York wanted to like kick Chick-fil-A off their turnpike or something like that because they wouldn't be open on Sundays? And or am I thinking of the wrong state?
I haven't heard that in New York, but I'm not.
I thought I heard something where like Chick-fil-A was getting kicked out of the turnpike somewhere, and they were like, "What the fuck? We have contracts." And they're like, "Yeah, well, we need you to be open on Sundays for travelers." And they're like, "Well, then why did you rent us the space?"
Yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of dumb fuckery from all sides.
Yeah.
You know, say what you will about their politics. I love their chicken. So
Oh yeah,
they have a-
I always overeat.
Yeah. You know what? But the best thing they have there, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but it's those little chicken nuggets.
no, you're right. Especially when they
Oh.
put one of those little motherfucking biscuits, and you get like the Chick-fil-A biscuit, like little. You get like 4 of them in a box. Holy shit, that is breakfast right there.
Oh my god.
I mean, is there anything bad?
No,
No, I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
I love
Not a biscuit.
yeah, I love their chicken tenders as well with their barbecue sauce. That's amazing too. But their breakfast, when you get the little tiny chicken patty that they have on side their butter biscuit, that is freaking amazing.
Yep.
I want Chick-fil-A, and that's Sunday.
Yep.
I know.
Damn it.
I
See,
know.
thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
no, you're
conversation.
completely
Son of a
screwed.
bitch.
Even if I wanted to right now, I couldn't get it.
Yeah, they do sell their sauces in the store now though, because we
Yeah.
got some.
Oh, I've got some
I
in the
saw that.
fridge. Yeah. I don't go without it.
Well,
Anywho,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
there
Yeah.
you
All
go.
good.
Chick-fil-A, you
The new
had
sponsor. The new sponsor.
your free
Thumbs
advertising
up,
on Double
Chick-fil-A.
AD.
This commercial may have started a little bit off key, but we came back to you, Chick-fil-A.
That's right. So we love Chick-fil-A, even though it's not open on. Is that the consensus? Even though it's not open on Sunday.
It is not open.
Even though it's not open on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
no.
love it.
I mean, listen.
Okay.
But listen, at my age, the amount of times I eat fast food is few and far between.
Yeah.
So if they're open 6 days a week, I can live with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once again, a tribute to how much they value their employees.
We
They
Should
view
get a day
they
off?
view Sunday as a family day.
Yeah.
get like the chicken nuggets you're talking about,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
We always get like a 60-piece or a 90-piece
Ooh.
chicken nugget.
Good
And
Lord.
because we get the catering dish, what we always call them up and say, "Yeah, I want to order this." And we got like last time I think we ordered 2 of them. So we eat it like the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and
Mm.
Sunday. We'll just order it. It's not a
Wow.
constant thing, but whenever we
Right.
do.
Oh,
And we
wow.
had so many of those Chick-fil-A points built up on their, rewards program. We were able to get like 2 of those for free.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it. Love it.
That
By the
rewards
way-
program's nice too, because they'll send you like if you order a catering plate, you can get like a free gallon of their lemonade, which is not cheap.
Yeah.
either, So it's like, woohoo! That's like a real win.
Yeah.
By the way,
Agreed.
if my family owned Chick-fil-A, it would be open on Sunday because no one would want family time.
Well, I'll be your tag team
First on
partner on
Thursday.
that one.
I'm more thirsty then.
Yeah. Anywho, what say we get into some DC content? I know that was a terrible segue, but I don't know how to transition from chicken to superheroes. So,
Chicken fucking to superheroes.
chicken fucking the superheroes? Well, now we're back to chicken fucking.
That's where we started.
That's
so,
where we start. All right. It's come full circle, folks. We're right back to chicken fucking.
Fuck off.
Superheroes need protein.
Right? Gosh, what is the topic du jour today? And that is, we are all going to be discussing our least favorite DC television shows of all time, our bottom 3 that it is. And I know some people said this was going to be a little difficult to do. I didn't think it was hard to do at all from my end. I knew what my 3 were right away.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no, ifs, ands, or buts. And they're all pretty recent.
I had a hard time.
I had a hard time.
I
No.
think I don't know. I thought about it not as the three worst shows. It was the shows I disliked the most versus like I guess
Well,
objective.
yeah, you can right. The worst shows you ever saw, right?
Because
It
like
doesn't
some
have
of
to be
them,
the worst.
like the two of the ones I picked, I actually started off liking them, and then the thing I don't like is that they failed to live up to their potential. So that's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Just want to make sure I
No.
understood the
Yeah.
assignment.
No.
Yeah, no, that's how I approach this.
Yeah.
It's just ones that disappointed me, and yeah.
Yeah. So, without further ado, let's just take it around the horn and ask. And I want to get Retpmus first because,
Oh, of course
yeah,
you do.
Of course I do. Somebody has to be first, and you are it. Tag.
Okay. Well, it was a DC show, but I would say on number 3, I'd have to say the show Powerless. I do really like Alan Tudyk. He is like one of my favorite comedians.
Right.
And Vanessa Hudgens was like the lead reporter, and it was like this insurance company they sold insurance for like destructions of the city, like when Superman was fighting Batman and all the damage they destroyed in the city.
Okay.
They would sell the insurance for superhero damage. And they would come in and validate and do that stuff. And it started off, and like I watched the first episode, I was like, okay, this could be cool. I was like, because it's funny, it's supposed to be a comedy, but the more I watched it, it was just bad. It wasn't it just wasn't humorous. I mean, Alan Tudyk always delivers. He's great at anything he does. I mean, he was great in what other superhero shows he was in oh, help me out, Sekju.
He's in the Harley Quinn animated show.
But he was just in the Doom Patrol. He was in the first.
Yeah, he was Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody in Doom Patrol. I liked him in that. I mean, there's a Tucker Dell versus Evil's freaking
love that
hilarious
Oh,
movie.
love that
Yeah.
show. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
great
Yes,
film.
he's awesome. I mean, he's in.
Oh,
He
fuck,
has.
man, he's Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball.
He is.
Yeah. He's in everything, and he's got a new show out. I think The Resident, where he's an alien.
Yeah, it's Resident Alien is literally
Yeah.
called. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got that show. I mean, and he was great in this. He was like Bruce Wayne's cousin in the show,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to like it, but after like probably about the 3rd episode, I just dropped off, and I was just like, yeah, I could get more laughs watching Con Man that he released, And if you haven't seen the Con Man, watch it. They're little tiny snippets. It has like Nathan Fillion in it and a bunch of other stars like Felicia Day and things like that. It's about basically where he's playing a real life version, kind of like of himself, and he's trying to get like a sponsorship for a new TV series or like a super space show or something like that. You just have to watch it. It's hilarious. Just look up a preview for it. I'm getting off track, but anyway, it wasn't Alan Tudyk's fault. It was just the writers, and that's why that's why I threw that on my list, because of that.
Well,
But
Gotcha.
I wanted to tell you, Retmus, that was actually on my list too, for the same reasons, but also because of the writers and the fact that I believe it's Justin Halpern who is the showrunner and head writer for the Harley Quinn animated show that everyone loves. So the fact that he was like one of the head writers, or I think executive producer or something of that show,
Mhm.
and it wasn't good, and it had all the potential to be good.
It did.
I actually had it on my list too, but don't worry, I had backups just like that.
Wasn't Justin Halpern the guy who wrote Shit My Dad Says?
Might be.
With William Shatner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy who wrote that? Oh, I mean the
Might-
book, not the TV show.
You can look it up.
Oh,
We have the Google.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have Google. Jesus.
Ask
we,
Google.
we have the
yes,
technology.
he was.
He was. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought so. So there you go. There's your little innard there. If you ever read that book, Shit My Dad Says, which I have, and it was funny.
The series was funny too with William Shatner. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the Girl Scouts terrified him. He's bringing his shotgun out whenever they come to sell the cookies.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've never heard of that show. So
Really?
Yeah. So it's probably as bad as you say it is, and I would
Oh,
tend to.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard
I
of it.
heard about it for the first time in reading over the last week lists of the worst DC shows.
Okay.
Was
I
it
saw-
on there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay.
All right.
Basically, the reasons we describe, everyone kind of agrees that like
Yeah.
it started off with potential, and then
Mhm.
it dipped, and then it had a couple decent episodes in the middle, and then it just fell off. And everyone's like, "Well, the cast was talented, and everyone
Yeah.
liked it, and the writers are talented on other projects. So like, what the fuck happened?" Is
Yeah.
basically the
I saw one review I read this morning. It said it should have been funny.
Yeah. It should have been funny. Well, I think that's a hell of a pick, Mr. Retmus. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to ever check it out, but, you know,
But see, that's the whole thing. We can't say, check
Yeah.
it out. See how
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
No, I know.
we're all going to say that shit.
You be the judge. You let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comments.
That's right.
That's it.
What he
We
said.
want to hear your thoughts.
We
Go waste
absolutely
it.
do.
What made your list of the worst shows?
That's right.
Post it below.
And speaking of which, I'm going to pivot up to Biff. What made your list here, pal?
So the first one, this might be unfair. Okay, but my number 3 might be unfair. But I want to paint a picture on how I
Sure.
went about this. All right. So think of you're going to a steakhouse, your favorite steakhouse.
Yeah.
Because it's this wonderful meal.
Mhm.
And you get there and you walk in and oh my God, the smell, just amazing. You know, your table's not ready yet. So you sit down at the bar and you get a beautiful gin martini, some very premium gin or vodka if you'd like, but
I don't
wouldn't
drink,
go that
man.
route. Then you sit down and they bring you the wonderful rolls that are just absolutely amazing.
Are you talking Texas Roadhouse?
No, I'm talking real steakhouse.
A real steakhouse.
Okay, real
with
steakhouse.
some fancy kind of butters.
I was just
soft
saying the
butters
that
rolls.
yeah.
Those-
Oh no, this is real steakhouse we're talking.
It's like the Drover here in Omaha.
Yeah. Then I get a beautiful Cabernet to go with my ribeye. A ribeye and then a perfect wedge salad with like the real bacon, not bacon bits. Like, you know, you're just off to a rousing start where it just is. You've been looking forward to this for weeks. It's just everything's perfect. Everything from the smell to the appetizer to the rolls to the beautiful red wine you're getting ready, and then the ribeye comes. You cut into it right by the bone, and you see, oh, it's perfect medium rare. So you take your first bite. It's great. Then you cut into the second bite, and you realize something went wrong, and this steak is medium well. And all of a sudden, the dinner that was perfect, everything that was perfect, just completely went off the rails. And you just paid $50 for a steak that's completely cooked bad. And the whole night, even though everything was looking so promising, is ruined. So I'm going to give my number 3, unfairly or not, to The Flash.
Wow. That's an amazing pick.
Because
Controversy.
Because everything was perfect until it wasn't. And
Okay.
it reminds me of something that just kept building your expectations to be awesome, awesome, awesome. And then just
And it was.
Yeah.
Then it just kicked you in the nuts.
So was it about more bad seasons than good, in your opinion?
Correct.
Okay.
The end of The Flash was, and I'm talking about the CW Flash.
Right. Yeah. Not the 90s.
Right.
Flash,
no,
yeah.
not the 90s. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about CW Flash.
Amazing.
Where it just, this is one that I think could end up on your best list or could end up on your worst list. It just depends what lens you're looking at through. I'm looking at it through the lens of a great steakhouse.
I gotcha. I can't disagree with that analogy. I mean, if I would just watch like the first 3 seasons and never watch it again, that would be like on the top of the list of one of the best shows.
Oh yeah.
Right. But if I watched it from season like 4 forward, then I'll be like, man, what did they do to the show? You know, I mean,
right.
I get you.
No, that's the point. Like once I got that medium well steak, I forgot about the martini. I forgot about the rolls. I forgot about the wedge salad with the beautiful bacon. I forgot about all that because it got ruined. I didn't even want dessert. And in my case, dessert is usually a cocktail, but still, I didn't want dessert for me, because I want it out of there. And
I don't
that's
know.
all I can remember of the Flash is the last few seasons. Well, the last few seasons I watched, which were not the last few seasons. But
Have you seen the chocolate cake they make in those restaurants? That shit is delicious.
I'm not a sweets guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what my dessert is? If anyone just try to take a guess on this, what my dessert is at a steakhouse?
A frozen Snickers bar.
No.
The bone marrow.
That's a great guess. I've never had bone marrow, and I really want to try it.
Okay.
That's a really good guess. But mine is an Irish coffee with no whipped cream or any of that bullshit.
Just
a black Irish coffee.
So
I don't even
coffee
want the, I don't even want the
Jameson,
I don't even
basically.
want the yeah, coffee and Jameson.
Yeah. That is a hell of a cocktail.
Yeah.
Dessert.
No.
Dessert.
Dessert. Okay, dessert. That's not a dessert.
It is a dessert. That is my treat at the end. Like they recently, we went for my 50th birthday to the steakhouse I love a month ago, and they brought out like this cake or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't like desserts. Like, but my wife ate it, so didn't go to waste. So I don't like desserts, and I don't like the Flash.
That's
you
right,
like
folks.
that first bite of the Flash?
Yes,
Yeah.
I liked the martini, the rolls, and the wedge salad of the Flash. But unfortunately, when it came time for the main course, you let me down.
I kind of get what Biff's saying though, because I am one to rewatch things that are good, and even though I acknowledge seasons 1 and 2 of The Flash are good, because I watched the show the whole way through, I really have no desire to ever rewatch any of it, even though I know the first 2 seasons are good. I haven't gone back to rewatch it, and I have rewatched like season 2 of Arrow, for example. I have rewatched that because it's really good. But even though The Flash is great in the beginning, the last few seasons just made me go, okay, this story is done, and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, folks.
It's like one of my soccer teams the other day. They went up 3-0 and they ended up losing 4-3. I don't remember the great the 3-0 lead, because when the game ended, it sucked.
Well, I think that is a controversial pick, but I would look forward to seeing what the community at large has to say about that. So,
and by the way, I'm open to being criticized for that being unfair.
Sure.
That's why I wanted to paint the picture.
Right. Let them know in the comments.
Take you to the steakhouse.
That's right. Let them know in the comments, or get on our Discord and just beat them up there. That'll be funny.
Yeah, but don't but if you're someone that enjoys medium well steaks, don't at me, because I have no respect for you.
Really, that's my favorite way to eat them.
Oh, yuck.
In a bottle of ketchup.
Oh, no.
What the
Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes. He's a nice guy. He does commercials for us.
I just have to throw that out there.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go on to Mr. Sekju. What was your third least favorite DC television show?
My third least was Powerless, but like I said, I have a backup. So we're going to go with Naomi, because the show was it was marketed for too narrow of an audience. And when you're going to put something on the CW, yes, there's a built-in audience that watches that show, and it usually is some level of tweener. But like the other shows in the DC universe, even Black Lightning, while it was focused, appealed to a broad audience of people that could watch it and enjoy it. And I just don't ever feel like that show was trying to capture the main core comic audience. Plus, again, like a character that was, invented for noble reasons as an homage to Dwayne McDuffie. That's great. But she hasn't been around long enough to develop much of a mythos to base this show around. So even if the show had taken off and had done well and had been well produced and everything was great about it, you don't have that much story to tell about her because she had only been around for a few years. So to me, the show was poorly conceived. I feel like it was poorly executed. The actress that was in it did the best she could with what she was given. I don't know whether or not to say she was good or bad in it, because the show as a whole I didn't think was that great. But no ill will against the actress. She simply read the lines they gave her and acted out how they directed her. Uh, there were some cool things in the show, like having Thanagarian show up, but none of the ones we know. And I don't know. It was a show that I was excited to see what they would do, but I never really had much hope for it to do anything at all. And sure enough, it didn't. And then all the CW shows went bye-bye. So
Yeah. I'll tell you, that's another show I've never seen.
That
Never
was
even
my
heard
number
of.
one.
oh, see, you stole mine, so I took yours.
That's okay. I had a backup for number one.
Fantastic.
Wow, we have all these backups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have any backups.
I don't
but
either.
I think all three of mine are safe from everybody else.
And same here. I think my three are probably safe from, well, I don't know, maybe a couple of them. Maybe one
I
of
was
them
also
at least.
joking about Naomi in the writers' room with Witty, so I figured that had to be my alternate if one of mine got. There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, when I first watched it, I kind of enjoyed the first 3 episodes of Naomi. And we even talked about it. It was like, this seems like this is going to develop into something really good.
And then it didn't.
No.
Just kind of.
No, I remember we did talk about it on Snippets, and we were like, okay, we gave it a shot. We gave it a chance. I wasn't a naysayer from the beginning, but I watched like the first 6 episodes, and after episode 6, I was just like, I'm done. I can't. This is not a show that's being made for me to watch. And at that point, I was out. It just wasn't appealing to me, even as a comic book fan, to follow it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, man. I don't know. I don't even know what to say because, like I said, I've never seen the television show. So
Well, don't.
I never.
That I'm not going
I never
to.
watched it because of what people here told me.
Yeah.
Because I was on to some. We had enough in the DVR at that point, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit back and wait. And then when I just heard what people were saying about it, that it just really wasn't entertaining, is what people were saying. And like, to me, I'm easily entertained. You know, like I think like Sekju, I'm a easy grader on a lot of these things. You know, that's why I had such a hard time with this list, which is why I kind of went in a different direction, like, you know, and just things that disappointed me.
Well, I'll tell you what my number 3 is, and you guys will probably have heard of it. And I didn't watch much of it, right? And by the way, my write-ups are going to be very, very brief because I don't like to dwell on shit I don't like. But my third pick is iZombie. And I don't know if that's a controversial pick or not because I don't know if people like it or not, but I
loved it.
I didn't like it at all. I watched the first few episodes since it aired right after another CWDC show, and it was just another procedural crime drama amongst an ocean of competing products. And I didn't understand why it was being made or how somebody thought this was a good idea to put on television, but nonetheless, there it was, and it didn't last long, so I was right in the end. So,
AB, I had this on my original list when you gave this homework assignment,
right,
as my number 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I never saw it. I gave it my number 1 slot because of the first paragraph of the summary of it.
Yeah.
Sounded so awful.
But
like this medical student becomes a zombie, and then all of a sudden,
hey, AB,
oh my Lord.
you said that it didn't last long. It lasted 5 years.
Did it really?
It did well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually a popular show. I never.
Yeah.
But it's a popular show.
It gets really good.
Well, then
people love zombies. That's the
it's
thing.
It's the reverse.
Zombies.
Listen, it's the reverse of the Flash. You took the first bite and it was well done, and then the rest of it was medium
awesome.
well. That's what happens to this show.
Yeah.
It literally flips, where like the government gets in and starts using like these zombie type abilities to like make all these troops and everything. It's about like this cola. I think I forget what the name of the cola was, but it was there was like a chemical they used in it that manipulated our gene or something because they were doing like all these experimental stuff at this facility. But it turns out good. It really does. And she just
no one's watching because everyone turned it off after the first season.
how did everyone turn off that first season? It lasted 5 years, Biff.
Lasted 5 years, Biff. It had
5 years.
But okay, see, this was on every bad list I
Yeah.
viewed online.
Well,
It's not
just because
bad.
something lasted
It-
5
it
years
was-
doesn't mean it's good. The
was
Flash,
just-
No, absolutely.
case
Well,
in
it would-
point.
It lasted 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, the show has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.8 on IMDb. It's like one of the highest rated shows.
Retmus, can I tell you something, buddy? I don't care.
Huh.
I hated the show.
But that's fine. That's the whole thing about it. That's why there's so many
Right.
different types of shows.
Right.
Well, you asked if this was controversial. We're explaining why it might.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
okay.
I'm not trying to change
Okay.
your mind.
Okay.
I-
Yeah. I'm not trying to sway you either way. If you hate something, you hate something. I'm not going to try and say, well, you
Right.
should like it, Amy, because
I'm
of
not-
this.
No.
I'm not
No.
a zombie. I'm not a zombie guy. I hated it after reading the write-up of it.
I just
And I
don't.
never even saw the damn show. I just read the write-up and was like, okay, this medical student becomes a zombie and all of
Yeah.
a sudden starts doing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Police
I
not
don't know how it got on bad lists if it has such good reviews, you know, and it lasted 5 years. You know, it's
I-
just
All
I
I
No,
don't
by
know.
the way, there were a lot of shows that lasted a long time on bad lists. And by the way,
Yeah.
the lists are very vast. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
There's
gotcha.
there's a lot of
Right. Well, I
There's a
didn't get
lot-
it from a list. It's just what I remembered in my head.
yeah.
So,
I gotcha.
Oh no,
I
but
mean,
and the only reason I took it off my list is because I thought it was unfair to put something on that I'd never watched.
right.
I gotcha.
No.
You know what though? That lead actress is kind of awesome though in the show Ghosts. If anybody watches Ghosts on,
I haven't seen that.
oh,
I have seen it. I don't not because I'm a Ghost fan.
mhm.
Like I'm like I've had real paranormal experience.
Yeah, I don't know if a real Ghost fan would be a fan of the show though.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
It was, but I thought the concept was really cool.
Mhm.
But
I love the banter that they use with the phrasing. Like, did you get to the part where they talked about the phrasing, like when when somebody goes to heaven, what it's called?
yeah, and I'll,
Like,
I'll
that
tell you
sort of
I'll
shit-
tell you what I like about Ghosts. What I liked about Ghosts was the variety of eras that the ghosts took
Yeah,
on. So you have one person from, you got one person from the Vikings, you got another person from,
colonial area, like the Revolutionary War.
yeah, you have every era of the world ever represented, and they're all coexisting in this show with different times, language, thought processes, so Ghost is interesting, but it never hooked me.
I'll have to
Never
check
hooked
it
me.
out.
Retmus, I think you will like it.
Uh-huh.
I get why Biff doesn't like it though, because he's a fan of the actual paranormal,
Right.
with like a mockery of that. But it's good.
Okay.
It's a good comedy if you're looking for a lighthearted thing to watch. Like I love
Sure.
too.
It wouldn't be on my top 3 ghost shows of all time, but it wouldn't be on my worst 3 either.
Right.
There you go.
What was that actress's name? It was like McIvy or something.
I think Rose McIvy.
Yeah, that's it. That's her name. I like the actress.
Yeah, but she's great. I love her in Ghosts. I think she's great in that show. So
Yeah, I think she's better in a bed and breakfast than she is as a zombie.
her husband.
And she's better as a haunted bed and breakfast owner than a zombie, even
Yes.
though I never saw her as a zombie.
You want to hear?
I'm with AB on this.
Do you want to hear something kind of crazy? Sekju?
Yeah.
She actually was. Started her career. I remember reading this a long time ago. She started her career as guest appearances in Xena, Warrior Princess, and Hercules: A Legendary Journey.
Oh well, I've seen every episode of those.
Yeah,
so-
she was in it. But remember, she's going to be very young back
Oh,
then.
right. She's probably one of the kids that is in a village or something.
Right. And she was also, I
Hey.
think, in Once Upon a Time, the TV series about fairy tales.
Oh, with what's his name? Madsen? Richard? What's his name? The one that played Lois Lane's love interest in Superman Returns. Wasn't he in that too? Richard Madsen, or was it?
Oh, he was the guy that played Cyclops in X-Men. Yeah.
Cyclops. Yeah,
He was Cyclops. in
Oh,
X-Men.
okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
the old Cyclops, not the
Yeah.
newer Cyclops from
Yeah.
the other X-Men movies.
Oh, James Marsh.
James
James
Marsden.
Marsden. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, James Marsden. I think.
Yeah. I believe so as well. He's in the Sonic movies too.
Yeah, because I remember it was a big deal that he wasn't in X-Men 3 because he took that shit role in Superman Returns, so they killed his good role, Cyclops, so he could play like Lois Lane's third wheel. I'm like, dude, career, what? What was that plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The AB, you said you didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about things you don't like.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry,
know. And then
We
we're
are
we're
we are we
we're
are
droll on this. Yeah,
killing it with iZombie right now.
I know. So that means I'm going to move on to the next contestant. Retmus, I want you to give me your second least favorite DC television show of all time.
My second least favorite.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a 50-50. I would have to give it Batwoman.
God damn it, Retmus. Thinking all my fucking shows. I have two alternates.
Well, the first season with Ruby Rose in it, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
It was really good. I mean, I didn't really have any complaints about it. But when the second season starts off, and you have this girl like lives in her van, and she's like, right, and she gets the bat suit. She instantly knows how to do it. She turns into this badass fighter, but she's like a nobody.
Yes.
I couldn't get into it. And I'm not nothing about the actress. I'm not dogging her. It's just the way it was written for her to play the role. It was just done poorly, and I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe it was an early version of ChatGPT they were using or something.
Can I expand upon that?
Absolutely.
That was one of my picks too. It was actually going to be my next one, you bastard. But for the same reasons that you're listing, and also like they had the plot opportunity to make it make sense. She did not need to be a whole new different character. She could have been
Yep.
Kane from another universe because it was happening right after Crisis on Infinite Earths had just
Yes, it
happened.
was.
The perfect in-story narrative to drop a brand new Kate Cade in there. If you want to explain the racial difference between her brother or her father and her sister, guess what? She was adopted then. Fine, whatever. But at least it makes sense within the context of the story that you're still dealing with Kate Kane. You're still dealing with somebody who should have the training to be Batwoman. That would make sense finding the Batsuit becoming Batwoman. Like you didn't
Hmm.
create a whole new original character to continue the series. That's what really upset me about it, and especially because the first season was good. It was great. Loved the first season. Big letdown after that.
Agreed.
So I agree on a lot of that, although I would not put Batwoman in my worst three. She, the second Batwoman in this, is exactly right up my alley. She is a piece of tail. So
Damn.
I kept watching, and I watched through the end. I agree the first season was far and away the best, and it went downhill, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but I was locked in every time because I love that actress.
Well, yeah, I have nothing against Javisha Leslie, and I feel like in
Yeah.
crossover stuff, she did fine portraying the role of Batwoman. She was fine. Like
Hmm.
weird shit they had her being involved in with the Flash towards the end of that too. She was fine in the shit that she did. Nothing against her or her portrayal. I just did not like the narrative choices that kind of ruined the show for me, and the ratings bore that out because it had declining viewership the entire time.
Yes. I
It
stuck
did.
it out.
It dropped like what, like 70 or 80%, like on the second season.
Bad. It was bad. And then like I don't even know how it got greenlit for a third season, but whatever. It did. And hopefully somebody out there enjoyed it. You know, they made it, so hopefully somebody liked it.
I liked it.
Mm.
I watched it.
Good.
I watched it all the way through.
Biff was happy. That makes
No,
me
but the first season, without a shadow of a doubt, was the best one.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Batwoman, I don't have a lot to say on it, but yeah, I would agree. You'll all find out why I don't have a lot to say on it here soon. Because unlike you guys, I don't have backups.
Oh, I'm the only one on the Batwoman.
I'm doing
train.
an Iron Man list. This is it.
I don't have any backups either.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so whatever my
So-
list is, it's going to be
Yeah, my list is my
spoiler
list.
alert, spoiler
I don't
alert.
think I can almost assure you no one's going to have my number one.
I wonder if people are going to have my number 2. That'll be interesting to see. Well, let's
Hey, you know
roll
what,
on.
people? We can actually find out.
That's right. Let's roll on and find out, shall we? Who's next? Biff. I think you're next, buddy.
Yeah, so My last two, it's very interesting because I'm not one of those like has to be comic accurate guy. Like I don't get caught up in that, but at the same time, these two pissed me off on that front.
Okay.
The two that are coming up, and they just rubbed me the wrong way. Uh, my number two, who the fuck is Turner Hayes?
I don't know, just some guy made up to be Bruce's son, adopted son. That's
Okay,
my number one, Biff. That's my
okay.
number one.
So Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
The lead character is someone named Turner Hayes, who was raised by assassins and adopted by Bruce Wayne after Batman killed them in self-defense. Like, just say it out loud. Like it's awful. They did bring in some ancillary DC characters and show them as younger kids. That was interesting, like Carrie Kelly, Stephanie Brown, Harper Row. They did introduce those characters that made me look them up and learn a little bit. And I actually started to like it at one point, and then I was like, the main character sucks.
Yeah.
When the main character sucks, the show sucks. And that's the bottom line. The only character I truly loved, and Retpmus, you can jump in here too on this one. The girl that played Dula Dent
Okay.
was really good.
I agree.
At like the crazy,
The Joker's pseudo daughter, supposedly.
correct.
Yeah.
And I thought she played the role great. But then once again, I'm a very easy grader, so I stayed in it for a while. And then I just realized who is this lead character and why is he in the DC universe? Because he doesn't exist.
Right.
I just started to get angry and I bailed.
Right.
I watched the whole thing, but I was out.
Right. And I'm a big fan of Misha Collins because I watched like every single episode of Supernatural on CW and I think it was like 13 years for that show. I mean, it was like super long. And I really wanted, his next, entry into, a series to be really good. He played Harvey Dent. And I thought he was fine. There was nothing wrong with Harvey Dent. I really liked his character. And I think it's following that pattern of has potential to be good, but it's just bad. It's just, it's just, I mean, okay, can you make shows? I mean, there's other shows that created characters that did not exist in the comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was oh my goodness. I just lost it off my head. The actress was Emily Records from The Flash. I can't remember who she played now. I lost my thought there. She was had Arrow's daughter on the CW show. If you know who I'm talking about.
I know the actress you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know.
Yeah.
Whatever was the character named Mia.
No, that was his sister.
No, I thought Mia was his daughter from the future.
Oh, okay. I thought his sister, Thea. I thought you said Thea. Sorry.
Oh, Thea.
Thea was
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said Thea. Okay. I'll have to swing back around to that. I don't know why. I'm tired.
I don't know. I don't mind made up characters.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to be the lead.
Right. Well, that's what I was trying to say was it can be a made up character and can be done well.
Yeah.
But this just was not.
Well, yeah, look at like Chloe Sullivan was a made up character in Smallville and had actually got put into the comics because people enjoyed that character so much. Or like Harley Quinn wasn't actually an original character, but was so popular from Batman the Animated Series that they put her into the comics. So you can have original characters that work out, but usually it's a supporting role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with this. Is the main character, I don't know who the fuck he is.
Plus, we had more than enough Robins you could pick from to like put in that fucking role. Like you
Yeah.
have plenty of Robins to pick
Oh,
from.
I know.
Oh
Tim
yeah,
God.
no,
Drake,
like
Jason
yeah. I mean, how many?
Todd.
How many? I mean, Jesus. You
God
could do,
damn it! Let Tim Drake have his day in live action for fuck's sake. Not the
yeah.
not in the
Oh no.
Red Robin.
real
Young.
Tim Drake. God damn it!
Right.
It was Felicity Smoke, is who I was
Felicity
thinking of.
Smoke.
The girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she was a
right.
completely made up character, as far as I
Yeah.
know, wasn't she?
No, she was. I think. Or no,
I think she was in the comics.
Oh, she
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Okay,
I think
My
she
mistake.
was, but she was a different character altogether. She wasn't like the Arrow's, personal IT support.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like redid who her character was, but I think she does exist in the comics.
She
I
does.
think.
Yeah.
Seen it.
That Arrow's Oracle.
Right. Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
Yeah. No, yeah. It sucked.
Yeah.
yeah. Sadly, I mean,
I never
try,
watched. So I'm on board with it sucking and not watching it.
Yeah.
and it's one of those
Mhm.
shows where it's like, let's make a superhero show, but we can't get the rights to any superhero at all, so let's just make up stuff.
Right.
But then why not do a show about like spoiler or do a show about the young heroes in
Yeah.
without
Well,
putting
but they did. They had spoiler in it. They
That's what
just
I'm
didn't
saying,
call
is
her a
make-
spoiler.
make those the lead characters. Like
Yeah.
make them the leads, the
Yes.
characters the leads, and then if you want to introduce another Batman, foster kid case, fine. Then do that, but have him be like a supporting character.
Understood. Why can't he be feuding with a real Robin
Right.
over who's Bruce's favorite? Just don't make him the lead. That's all. That's my end of my Gotham Knights rant.
I'm with you.
100%.
Turner
All right.
Hayes. Go away.
That's a show I've never seen before too. So
Oh,
I
he
can't-
went away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he went away. All right. Yeah. Turner Hayes.
Yeah,
Please.
I don't get it.
That's my lead character in a DC show. Come on.
All right. Sekju, what is your second? Let's move on here.
Well, it was Batwoman, but fuck me. So let me think. Since I keep having to go to alternates here, let me think of another one I didn't like.
You don't have to go to Ultimates.
Yeah, you can just say Batwoman for all the reasons
continue
listed.
to pile on
Yeah.
my girl.
No, I don't want to pile on your girl.
That's what I'm gonna
Alright.
do.
I already said my piece about what I had wrong with it. I don't know. You know what I'll throw out there? One that you might not expect from me. I'm going to go way back in history. Loved, even though it was corny as fuck, the Superboy from the 80s, season 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I loved it, even though it was corny as fuck, and John Hames Newton was a good Superboy, and he looked the role, and it was like, okay, I can watch this show. It wasn't great, but I've watched it, and I was like nostalgically. But then I remember, as soon as it was, what's his name? Is it Christopher Gerard, or is that it? I think it's
The guy
Christopher
that replaced
Gerard
him.
is the second. Yeah, the guy that replaces him. He looks nothing like Superman to me, or nothing like Superboy has ever looked. And that, like, as a kid, that really takes you out of the show. And again, nostalgically, going back and trying to rewatch the series, I watched the season with John Hames Newton, and I see all the faults in it. I see it for what it is. It's not a great show, but the nostalgia takes over and you just enjoy yourself. But as soon as the other guy shows up, that show just goes to shit. And it's just, ugh. It's just the worst of all the Silver Age nonsense that goes on with Superman. The storylines are terrible. Lana Lang is basically Lois Lane and in trouble every other week. But hey, kudos to Stacey Hyduke for, keeping it right in there. But it's just like, I don't know. That show was very disappointing on a rewatch for me because I was hoping to remember it more nostalgically, and I did for the first season, and then I couldn't even finish it after that. I was like, nope, we're not sitting through this.
Man.
I think that is an excellent pick.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think that's a bad
And
pick at all.
you might hear me talk about it in a little bit.
I can't remember much about it from having watched it so long ago, but I do remember that it was like not so great.
I
Yeah,
like
when
the
is-
theme song for it too. It was cute for like a TV show theme song for Superman. Like it was like quick, fast, like, I don't know. It's fun.
I don't remember the theme song at all.
I'm sure you can Google it. It's easy.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to watch the whole show.
There you go. I'll
If you just want
Google
to feel
the theme
better
song later.
about like a theme song, just Google Great American Hero instead of
I
Yes.
love The Greatest American
Yes.
Hero. Now that's a show that should have been turned into a movie. But I digress. I actually wrote half of a script for a movie for The Greatest American Hero at one point.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Never got made, but
Well, let's do it. Let's make a podcast where we all play our parts.
There's still
You
time.
don't have all those Hollywood contacts. That's the problem.
AB, just pitch it to Netflix.
There you go. Hey, Netflix, I got an idea, man. Actually, they would probably want to turn it into a limited series.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
They cancel you after season 3, even if it was doing well, though.
Yeah.
So Netflix rules are like, nope, no more seasons for you.
As long as they get my money, I don't care. They can cancel me.
They canceled The Witcher already. They said they'd get season 5, but then it's canceled. It's like, well, what if people actually like it? Too bad. Get over it.
Well, I mean, the next 2 seasons haven't started, but they said that was their initial plan. Remember, that's what they said. It was going to be 5 years, but if you go back further, they said it was 7 years.
I know. They changed the plan. Like for people, they assume people don't pay attention or that the internet doesn't exist, but it
yeah. Oh well. What should end up being actually good?
I'm going to give it a chance. I mean, I'm disappointed that Henry Cavill's not in it, but I'm going to definitely give it a chance, at least to disappoint.
Oh yeah.
Write it off.
Oh, I'll 100% watch it just because I like all the other characters still. I mean, even though it's The Witcher.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it was kind of like it should have been called Yennefer for the last season, but you know,
True.
it's not bad. I mean, they could go into so many cool story arcs, and I'm wondering if they'll address the difference in appearance, like something happened to him after he would like. I don't want to put any spoilers up, but you know what happened to him at the end of the last season. You know, maybe something.
Well, I thought that was a big narrative mistake, was that they actually showed him healed and back in action.
Yeah.
Versus they could have left it lingering, and then whenever he shows up again, it's like, oh, his face got mangled, and that's why when he healed, he looks like this now. It's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they could have some like residual something from that or some BS. Who knows? It'll probably just like won't say anything.
All right. So AB, let's hear your number 2.
My number 2.
Your number 2. A solid out of the
Yeah. Again, this is I don't know if this will be a controversial pick or not.
The last one was hot button, baby.
Yeah. So I'm going to continue that thread, and we are going to I'm just going to come right out and say it. Krypton. I watched the entire first season, and I said enough. That was a story that did not need to be told, and I thought that they did so much to try and confuse their audience more than anything else that I'm just like, you can't follow it. Things between the TV show and the series, I didn't understand so many aspects of the show that I gave up trying to follow it. Adam Strange was lame. Krypton itself was lame. Kandor City was lame. They made it look like a frickin' dirty-ass nightclub. Zod was lame. Doomsday was lame. Brainiac was pretty sweet, but that's only because I don't think we never got a live-action Brainiac before, and he was the best part of that show. But otherwise, what a craptacular idea. We didn't need it. It was unnecessary.
Okay. Well, I have no more backups for my number 1.
Right?
By the way, my number 1 is going to be a retread too. So we can.
Yeah, my number 1 is a retread.
Don't worry, I think it's fresh, unless AB's number 1 is the same as mine.
Yeah. Well, my number 1. I won't spoil it. But yeah, that's my number 2 pick. Can you believe that?
Much like iZombie, I found Krypton very prevalent in my Google search.
Yeah. Probably because it sucked. It sucked.
I wanted to like it and I just couldn't. I watched the thing and I was like, man, thank God it's canceled.
Stupid MacGuffin with Superman's cape and it was disappearing. Like, what the fuck?
By the way, this our banter writes itself for our summaries. I just wrote down. AB tells us, why is a number 2 a number 2?
I was hoping more for the character Lobo.
Yeah, that would have been great. I mean, we get to see him a little bit.
Yeah,
and that was silly, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
By the way, am I the only one that doesn't want Jason Momoa to be Lobo?
probably.
Why? What do you want him to be?
I don't want him to be anyone other than Aquaman.
That's fair. I feel like you fit both. The thing is, he fits the grungy, like, 90s Aquaman more than he does the traditional Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So, but I mean, that's fine, but I don't know.
No, but like if you're gonna take, it's like, okay, do you want to see, Henry Cavill as something other than Superman in a DC movie? Like I don't. Like,
But he's going to have makeup on. He's going to look nothing
Yeah,
like.
he's gonna look like a Xernian, dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
they've got like the red eye things over him with faces all grayish.
I don't know. I just never
Long
wanted
black hair,
Adam
chains.
West Aquaman. I just never wanted that.
Why not? That'd have been cool.
It would have. I want him to. I think he
Badass.
fits Lobo way more than he fits
But I
Aquaman.
would take
Henry Cavill back
an
up,
Yvonne Craig Mera.
Oh, damn.
That
Okay.
I'd take.
Okay. And Yvonne Craig Mera.
That I'd take.
That is. We'll put that on your wish list. Things to ask Santa for.
Oh no, it's my wife's cosplay list.
All right. Next up, Biff's kink. Anyways, was that who are we on right now? I'm lost.
Are we number one? Sekju's number one.
Number one. Are we on?
Or wait,
Everyone else?
or Retpmus?
Did we go Retmus as number one? Retmus, give us your
That
number
was
one
it.
pick, buddy. That was it.
That was my
Oh,
alternate.
Krypton.
I mean, my first one. I mean, it was like Naomi and Gotham Knights and those. It just
It's hard
kept
to have an
shoving-
alternate number one.
Yeah,
Your number
Yeah.
one
That's
should be your
tricky.
number. Your number one.
Your
should be
number
your
one should always be your number one. Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's why I didn't change my number one.
because
So,
that's high. That's high praise.
yes. Yeah.
To get
well,
get
my
the
number one was
worst.
Gotham Knights, and
Oh,
Naomi
okay.
was my second.
Okay.
But Batwoman fell in there, then Powerless.
Yeah.
I
that
had to switch them around.
But you just dropped a top 4 on us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm over here. My list contains 0 backups. So,
My only backup was one I never watched.
right. Okay. Technically, that wouldn't have counted, though.
The
I
iZombie
know.
backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, iZombie's the
iZombie
backup.
was my original number one after reading a paragraph about it.
So, are we on Sekju then for your number
Or
one?
I think we're on me.
Oh, you're on you. That's right. We're on
Yeah.
Biff for your number one, buddy.
So mine is the 1988 to 1992 Superboy.
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Which was a very low budget show, although it made it 4 years. I agree with Sekju. Now, here's the one question I have for you, Sekju, because you're the one to answer this for me.
Yeah.
As far as accuracy, this show was about a young Clark Kent, not a real Superboy.
But Superboy never really happened. If you really go into the mythos of Superman,
Depends on
went-
the era.
right? Well, he
Yeah.
went to the Fortress of Solitude as an adult and got his powers there. I mean, then
Right.
they made Superboy later on and made it
As-
kind of like a canon thing. But so it depends on what you go by, if it's accurate or not.
Okay, because I never thought Superman as a young person was Superboy.
That is,
Other than this show.
this show doesn't really draw from any true canon, so to
Mhm.
speak. I mean, there are Superboy comics out there, but it's more like a small version of Superman flying around Smallville doing things versus like,
Yeah.
him
But
going
it's the
to college.
depiction
It's
of
not
a
him
young
going to
Clark
college.
Kent.
Not really. The whole Clark Kent persona, at least in my experience as we know it in the modern, like when he's an adult, is what Retmus was saying, like, he forms that persona while he's either A, at the fortress, or B, I forget the one, Superman Birthright, I think he travels the world versus going to the fortress. He like lives all over the world and goes to different places, and that's how he meets like the Mer people and Lori Lamaris and all these other people. So I mean, there's different versions, but the one from the 80s to 90s show is really not comic based as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is there was never a young Man of Steel. The Superboy, who Superboy was not that.
No, at least not that I know. I never really read the Superboy comics. I know they exist
Right.
from the Silver Age, but they were never something I read.
But Sekju has the number one point in this. You can't change the actor for the main character
Yeah.
after one season and have any sort of popularity or success. Like they changed Superboy.
Yeah.
After season 1 of Superboy. Like
They
the only thing
changed-
that could have made Gotham Knights worse is if you changed Turner Hayes after season 1 of Gotham Knights, and at least they didn't fuck that up. At least they kept the same damn Turner Hayes.
They changed actors on different shows before, like Darren
The main-
from Darren from
Bewitched.
Bewitched. He was changed. Dick Sargent for Dick York.
Okay, yeah, I guess Darren.
I mean, it does work sometimes.
Well, maybe it just doesn't work in the context of a very low budget, poorly produced
Iron Man,
Right.
Rhodey.
Well,
You
yeah,
can't-
Iron Man
yeah.
and Rhodey. Yeah, there was a.
Like when the guy from the fucking Munsters became the Riddler on Batman 66. I'm sorry, it's a flop. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like that doesn't work.
There's certain times it doesn't work. There's certain times it will work. This was not one of those times.
But the
Yeah, this
main
was just one of
character.
those things. Yeah.
But even in Bewitched, Darren is a big character. He's not the main character. You
Right.
didn't change the witch.
Okay. Well, then
It's
how
funny
about
because this is
Valerie?
about to play out with The Witcher.
There was a
And
sitcom
this
in the
one,
80s named Valerie, and she was fired, was Valerie Harper, from her own show.
Oh shit! I think my wife did make friends with a fucking crow.
What?
You know how you like if you give them gifts, they supposedly they give them shiny shit, they become your friend and bring your shit back. There's a goddamn crow at our bird feeder. She said he keeps it back. Whatever.
You know what's kind of crazy, AB?
What's that?
The other 2 days ago, it was about 4 a.m, and I was sitting on the couch. I was just resting a little bit, and I was like, I want to watch
Resting.
some. Yeah, I was like, I need to go to bed, but I kind of want to watch something, but I need something like really short, like maybe like an episode of South Park or something like that,
Mhm.
And I already watched every single episode of South Park, so it wasn't new, and I was just like, I was flipping through Freevee on Amazon where they have like a bunch of free TV shows, and I watched the very first episode of Bewitched.
That's right.
And that was 2 days ago.
Wow. And it was in
And
black and white.
it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was a good show.
Yeah, it wasn't
It
bad
was
at
a good
all.
television show. Better than
Hey,
the crap
I
we're talking
love how
about now.
Yeah, there's a narrator on there, for like the first few episodes, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I didn't remember a narrator ever talking,
Yeah.
explaining things in the story before.
The
But
narrators were big back then.
yeah, he kept saying, a young red-blooded American. And he kept saying that all the time. All the time.
Damn.
Do
Where'd
what
the-
a red-blooded American would do.
Didn't Nick at Night used to always have Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie on back to back? Because I feel like I
Yes.
watched that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh
Yep.
God.
That and Three's Company.
Yeah.
I still, by the way, I watch Three's Company every week.
I love Three's Company.
The other day I watched the one where there was this big misunderstanding. It was awesome.
Yeah, you're a funny guy. Seriously though, I've got the DVD box set. They haven't put it out on Blu-ray, or else I would have got it on Blu-ray. But I've got the DVD box set.
Three's
Love
Company.
that
I used
show.
to sneak watching Three's Company
Yeah.
because my dad wouldn't let me watch it because he thought I was too young based on the sexual overtones.
That's too
And
bad,
I used
man.
to sit on the stairs as my parents watched Three's Company, and I used to look down just to watch because I thought Jack Tripper was so funny. I was
Jack Tripper was funny.
I was into the slapstick.
Yeah.
I was into the Mr. Furley and
Oh, yeah.
and all that, and I thought it was the funniest show. And I used to get in so much trouble because I'd be sitting on the stairs peering in as they're watching it in our basement, and I would laugh so loud. My dad would be like, "All right," and then all I could hear was the belt being
Ooh.
pulled
yeah,
from
that's it.
around the waist, and all you would hear would be a young Biff saying, "Dad, could you just leave the pajama bottoms on?" That's all I would ask for at
Damn.
that point because I knew I was done. And yeah,
Wow. Well, on that
So-
note, let's where are we
Does anyone
at
have
with
a
our
one left?
list? What was that?
Does anyone have a 1 left?
I do. I have
I,
one.
Sekju
Okay.
has a 1 left. Yeah.
So I think this one shows up as the consensus worst DC show on most lists, but I could be wrong. Human Target has been attempted twice, both in the 90s and in the 2000s, and both times that show sucked. And just, it's not a good comic. I didn't like the comic either. Didn't like the show, either attempt. Tried to
Hey,
watch it both times. Just,
Wow, I'd never heard
I
of it.
agree to disagree with that one. The first one sucked. The second one with Mark Valley, I liked it. I really liked it. It also had Jackie Haley in it. He played from The Watchmen, the guy
yeah,
with
Jackie Earl Haley that played Rorschach.
yeah, he played Rorschach and he played I think Freddy, the new Freddy version too.
He's also
I
RoboCop in the new RoboCop.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that one, but I liked the second one. Uh, I thought it was kind of cool.
Is it like one of those shows that gets better later on in the series?
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
watched the first 3 episodes and I was like, oh my God. Because after the experience with the one from the 90s, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try and just couldn't get into it. So maybe if it's one of those ones that gets better as it goes,
It
but
does.
I
It
didn't
really
go.
does.
I didn't goes past 3.
We get to meet the original Human Target, and you know who it was?
Who?
Lee Majors, the Bionic Man, the $6 million man. He has a guest appearance in the show.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it gets really good. And when I heard it was canceled, I was disappointed because I really liked the second iteration of this storytelling. The first one I did not like at all. And I mean, it wasn't the greatest, so I can't say like, "Oh, you're completely wrong, Sekju." This, it
Well,
was
you're allowed to like what you like.
right,
No,
and
absolutely.
I understand that. I'm just saying, I really enjoyed it because we all sat down and watched it. My wife enjoyed it. My son enjoyed it. We didn't have really anything bad to say about it. It was an entertaining show for us.
Oh, I'm glad you guys liked it. Just not my
Yeah.
cup.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I did, and I know I always reference these lists I look up because I look them up because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Like I want to make sure I don't like that I didn't forget something.
Let me guess, it
that-
was on the list.
But there was one list I did see, Sekju, that had this show, both iterations as 1-2 worst DC shows of all time.
Yeah.
There was one list, but I also saw lists where what Retpmus said is this the second one was a lot better.
Well, it doesn't help that the source material is like something you really have to be a fan of to more or less like if you're a comic fan coming into it and you're just a casual superhero fan, you're not going to be into that type of comic based show as much as you would be like The Flash or Arrow or one of those other shows that would pull in a generic fan. So that's another part of it too. Again, these shows that are designed for, in my opinion, more of a narrow audience.
Yeah.
But
You know,
I
since
can. Go ahead.
Whitty's not here. I'll say one thing, and I think one she really likes that I saw on some worse shows was Sandman, and they said because it only appeals to comic fans and not a wider audience. Now I don't know that. I didn't like Sandman at all. I got through 1.5 episodes and I was done. I know a lot of people love it. I think you like it.
oh yeah,
I liked it as well.
Yeah, but it's to me, I'm not like the supernatural one. Like
Mhm.
that's like that stuff gets lost on me. But I saw a lot of things that said unless you're a huge comic fan,
Well, I
that's
don't know if you sit down and watch it, it's kind of like this all-powerful being stripped down to nothing in his struggle to climb back to the top, basically. It's kind of like that type of storyline. And it's done very well because, having a bunch of episodes just him being trapped how he was. I don't want to tell any of the story in case people didn't watch it, but he has really good development, of like who he truly is inside as to what he portrays to others that he is. And I think it's very well done.
well that I think is universal. I was surprised to see it on a few lists as the
Oh,
worst
okay.
on the
Gotcha.
worst DC. Like because I believe like in watching it, I could see how it's well done. I
Mhm.
just didn't like the
Some of
milieu.
those lists are such shit though. Like they have like Lucifer on a bunch of those lists, and that's widely accepted as one of the most popular DC outings there have ever been. So
Oh, I saw Lucifer #1 multiple times.
yeah, but there's
For
lots
the
of
worst?
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane. And I know
It
it's
wouldn't
not
surprise
everyone's
me.
cup of tea,
Yeah.
but more people liked it than disliked it. That's
Yeah.
fact.
That's
It wouldn't
that. By
surprise
the way,
me.
that's why these shows do well. Like what we're talking about. That's why people are interested in listening because it's everyone has a different opinion.
Mhm.
Well, should I even tell what my number one is?
Yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
we've even gone through it.
was it Human Target?
What was that?
Was it Human Target?
No, it was not
Oh, I
Human
think he's
Target.
going. I
No.
think he's going Batwoman.
Yeah.
Batman 66.
I
No,
shit.
That's not allowed.
Stop.
Shit. No.
Biff is coming through the screen right now.
I feel
Oh.
bad that I don't have like an honorable mention, so I'll just give you one off the top of my head. Because I feel like when I do like my number one is Batwoman, and I'm not going to discuss
Yeah.
it because we've already discussed it, right? But if I were
Yeah.
to give an honorable mention, it would probably be the Watchmen series, that limited series that came out on HBO.
Oh, I forgot
Really?
about that.
Yeah,
I
that
liked
was
it.
a piece of fucking crap.
Is it
Oh,
number 2?
No, that'd be my number. That'd be
That's his
probably
number 2 piece of
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
I wanna
was
hear
a
why.
number 2.
I
Not
want to hear
yeah.
the why from AB. I got to hear it because I liked it, but I want to hear why you didn't like it.
So they're you know what it was so confusing. I mean, it just wasn't my cup of tea, right? I didn't understand why things were happening the way they were. I didn't like the fact that they threw this, you know, in my opinion, terrible racial overtone to it that didn't need to be there. I
With
didn't understand.
Don Johnson's character. Is
Right,
that what you're
right.
thinking?
I mean, as much as I love Don Johnson, I thought he did a great job, by the way, but it just didn't hit well with me for being what it was supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't understand the lead character and what her whole deal was or wasn't supposed to be, you know? I don't
it Turner
understand
Hayes?
Dr. Manhattan, why he came back from Oblivion and sat down and had a meal with her at a restaurant, and then later she ate an egg. It was just crazy. I just what
That's
the
what I liked
fuck?
about it.
Yeah.
No, it was just what the fuck did I just see? So I couldn't put that over top of things like iZombie or Krypton or even Batwoman because look, Batwoman is all kinds of fucking crazy. That's a hot mess of a shit show that doesn't need to be repeated again. But Krypton and iZombie, in my opinion, were worse than Watchmen limited series. So I have to stick with my list, but you know, Watchmen did come up in my thought of thoughts. Just so you know, I hope that helps make sense of it. I just couldn't follow it. I don't know.
I think I
Maybe,
watched it at the same time as Lovecraft Country, so I was just in a mood for some weird shit, and I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
I continued being like, "Oh, this is great, more weird shit."
It was too outside the fucking box, you know. It was too out there.
Have
Oh,
I
it
loved
definitely was.
And I love the Watchmen. I love the movie. I love the comic. But I mean,
Were you
I
mad
couldn't-
about the ending of the movie?
kind of, but it didn't bother me so much at the time. Look, that was before everybody had this big stick up their ass about Hollywood ending movies like the comic books did.
Mhm.
So they kind of got away with it, or I should say, Zack Snyder kind of got away with it back then, but he wasn't getting away with it. You know, fast forward button. A few.
Well, I like that they actually
decades.
showed the tentacle monster in the limited series on HBO. They
Oh yeah,
restored
they did.
the
Yeah,
ending.
yeah.
I thought that was cool, and I loved how they handled Ozymandias and his whole like
Ozymandias.
exile on like a different planet
Yeah,
and stuff.
like I said,
there's
some things
parts
were
of it
done
that-
well, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cohesive story. It just wasn't a thing. Like, what the fuck? There's all kinds of bullshit happening. Just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That was just me. It was just.
Hey, have you happened to see the ultimate cut of The Watchmen, the movie?
Yes.
It's really good. It's like 3 hours long. I
Mhm.
mean, it's like, but it's really, really good. But I understand exactly where you're coming from, AB, and I can't disagree with it.
Yeah, it was just
Uh,
weird.
But I enjoyed the series, but I did feel like there was stuff missing from it. Like okay, what are they trying to explain here? Okay, they're building up to it, but it was canceled before I think they fully got to explain everything.
Yeah.
Like what was a mysterious thing, and that was a greenhouse type garden thing that was like, I don't know if it was like time travel, whatever. Like it was all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of all over the place.
Originally, they said it was only written to be that 10-part series. It wasn't written to be anything longer than that. I
Oh,
thought.
really?
Yeah, like it was only written to be what it was. It wasn't written to like inspire like future seasons because they asked if that person would come back because I think it was pretty well reviewed and Regina Hall was like, yeah, I'll come back. And then it just never came back. So
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like I said, I have controversial picks, ladies and gentlemen.
oh well, no, again, like you're allowed to like what you like and don't like. I liked it and I was offering counterpoint. That's all.
Yeah. You are the man.
Sometimes.
All right. Well, that should wrap us up. Let's see. We got enough time, I think. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in now. Do you want to take it around and get everybody's last word?
I think we've all spoke enough.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
tired. I'm
Are we all
tired. Go
talked out?
enjoy.
All right.
Go
This last word is I need a nap.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Right
Be
on.
good to one another. Peace.
We've
Right on.
we've run the gamut of entertainment on this one, going
Yeah.
from Bewitched to
All in
iZombie.
That's right. So
Yeah, it just goes to show you, like, everybody has different tastes, and that's why there's
Yeah.
so many different options in the world. I mean, is one truly better than the other? It's all in the eye of the beholder, as they say.
that's right.
I always said if everyone likes the same thing, how boring would restaurant menus be?
Yeah.
I could
I'll
agree
take
with
a
that.
hamburger. Oh, don't want the hamburger? Try the hamburger.
Just don't
So
overcook
true.
the steak as it becomes flash.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time. We want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Get on our website, atlantisafterdark.com. Grab some cool swag from the merch store. Get on Discord, talk directly with us, and then hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. For BIFF, for Retpmus and Sekju, we'll see you all right here next time for another fantabulous episode of Double AD. So long, everybody.